What's good, Joe? I know I look like childish Gambino right now with my hair out. That's not the point, though. The point is, Bradley Beal has agreed to the Phoenix Suns buyout, and he's going to be signing with the Los Angeles Clippers for 2 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing...
Honestly, I'm going to keep it real. I am not surprised that the Phoenix Suns ended up trading him away. Not really too much of what he wanted to give him, but I think this is going to be great for him right now. Right now, the Clippers are looking pretty stacked so far. They're looking pretty good. They made a lot of great trades, even though they sent Norman Powell to the Heat. That's all good, but, they definitely had a lot of great pickups so far this free agency. And right now, they've been pretty much like the number one a team that everyone's been talking about. So right now, obviously Phoenix losing two great stars. Well, not really stars anymore because Bradley Beal did not provide anything good to y'all or Kevin Durant really, but he provided scoring. But we'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, Bradley Beal, he averaged 70 points a game with Phoenix this year. And honestly, what the Clippers really need right now is his scoring and his playmaking ability. And I really think that's going to be essential for the Clippers in the long run because you still have a James Harden, a Zubac, a Kawhi Leonard, and John Collins. And, that's a pretty good start. And I really think that this starting lineup could really help. James Harden's going to be playing his point guard position. And really in order for this to work for the Clippers, Kawhi, he needs to go in. He needs to provide great defense. But at the same time, he also needs to be able to score the basketball at a lot of points. And with James Harden, you have a really great he's a really great scorer, 22 points a game, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Meanwhile, Kawhi averaged about 21. We're definitely they definitely need the assists. That's why he's going to be playing the point guard. They're definitely going to need the assist stuff, and they're going to need the rebounds. So, what Bradley Beal's doing is filling in the void that apparently Norman Powell was in for. And, after they traded him, there was a void in their roster. So that's Bradley Beal's whole goal right now is to fill in the void for the roster. Because Ben Simmons is not going to be starting, and I see why he's not starting because he's not, he really can't provide much. He's a great passer, great rebounder, but, not a great offensive threat at all. But right now for the Clippers, it's looking good. They picked up Brook Lopez to be behind Zubac. He didn't really earn that starting role yet, so maybe he could be able to provide that if Zubac gets hurt. He could eventually provide that. But Brook Lopez is a great player. Brook Lopez, along with Bradley Beal, with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, it looks pretty good for the Clippers so far. And, I really think that they could potentially go up a little more and maybe get further in the playoffs. But also, you got to deal with Kawhi Leonard sometimes not always available. And, it definitely hurts seeing that. The fact that, you're a star and sometimes you're not available. Even though this year in the playoffs you were available, which we're all proud of you for that, but you need to be able to be more consistent with that. Same thing with James Harden. Game 7, you got to show up. If you don't show up in Game 7, like you don't half the time. Like there's so many Game 7s that we know that were not the best performance out of you. Like 2018, when you missed I think 27 3-pointers in a row. Like you missed some kind of horrible percentage on threes that one Game 7. Then with Joel Embiid, you scored 9, 11 points. Now this year, you scored 7 points in a Game 7. That's ridiculous. So consistency on the Game 7, you got to show up. Because, potentially, you guys could have beat them. But apparently, wasn't good enough. They had the talent to beat Denver. But, it didn't help once James Harden went down. But this looks like a really great signing for the Clippers right now. They're getting a lot of great players, and they could potentially fill the void in their rosters. So that signing right there, that's pretty good for them. So all he has to do is, be able to provide his playmaking activity and his scoring activity. And then the Clippers will be all set and done. However, the Phoenix side is a little bit different. So obviously Phoenix losing two great stars, Kevin Durant and also Bradley Beal. But unfortunately, it really was. I kind of expected that they weren't going to keep Bradley Beal for long, because because of that buyout. So right now, the key players right now, they want to. First off, Phoenix, they definitely want to be able to rebuild their roster around Devin Booker because if you lose Booker, there goes your franchise right there. So the key players right now is obviously Devin Booker. Obviously, still a great player, still a great shooter. Matter of fact, but you're averaging 25.6 points, 7 assists. 4 rebounds. That's not bad, but, he can definitely get more than that since, he's the team captain so far. So I really feel like that he'll be able to do that. Another key player right now is Jalen Green. He averaged 21 points per game, but unfortunately, because of the playoffs dropping him down to 13 points per game, that's a little ridiculous, and that's a little nervousness that Phoenix should have. Because sometimes Jalen Green doesn't show up, but he's going to be a star. A lot of people got to believe that still. Jalen Green is going to be a star, and he's going to be able to provide a lot for you. So, obviously, his playoff accomplishments, he has to get better with that. Because you can't be averaging 9 points against Golden State in the playoffs and expect you to be a star. Like, no. You need to show up every day of the time. I know he played all 82 games. I understand that. He played all 82 games, which is crazy. But at the same time, and during the playoffs, that's what counts. You got to get further in the playoffs, and you need to be able to provide an essential for your team. And obviously, I think Jalen Green will be able to do that. And I really hope he will too. I really think he's going to be a star one day. So he needs to be more consistent in the playoffs. If you score 9 points, like 2 rebounds in the playoffs, that's not going to work. So if you're averaging 21 points per game in a season, you need to be able to do that in the playoffs too. Next one is Kamen. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Kamen Malowicz, a South Sudanese center, and he was the 10th pick in the draft. Obviously, has a lot to prove right now. And, what the Phoenix Suns could really provide with him is definitely rim protection and definitely finishing and defense. Because you're a really tall player, and we need them, and, they need them to play defense. If he can't play great defense, that's not going to be good. Because I think a lot of people are going to be saying that he's going to be better than Bol, which Bol is a free agent right now. So, if he has a great season, then Bol's probably going to be out of there. And Bol really doesn't really play like that, unfortunately. But he'll be able to provide that. So I think Malowicz, he has a really big season ahead of him. They're losing a couple players, and they're going to definitely need him to help fill in the gaps. You need that rim protection, you need that defense, and you need that physicality. If Phoenix doesn't have that, then it's going to be a problem for them on defense, because I really don't think their defense was that great. Next one is Dillon Brooks. He averages 14 points per game, and the Phoenix Suns, he definitely needs to provide Phoenix with great defense, along with Malowicz. I cannot say his name. I'm so sorry, chat. I'm very sorry. But he needs to provide great defense, and, he's an okay scorer, not really too much of an offensive threat, flopper, a little bit, honestly. But he can provide great defense for the Suns. If Booker and Jalen Green is going to be the antithesis of the offense, I think that for defensively, Malowicz and Brooks have to show up. And Brooks, we also need some support, on the offensive side too. So he has to provide that too. And another thing also, if you watch my short about the NBA fights, watch the trash talk, Dillon Brooks, because every time you talk trash, it don't end well. It really doesn't end well. You've seen that with Golden State too. Watch that trash talk. Hey, if you're going to talk trash, you got to back it up, brother. Definitely, you got to back it up. But anyways, Bradley Beal, he signs with the Clippers, and, you have some holes to fill in for both squads. So I really think that they'll be able to provide that, and if they can do it the right way, then the team will hopefully be good. I really have a little bit of faith in the Clippers right now. They could potentially be a great team this year, but they could be pretty decent. Who knows? Phoenix could struggle, because they don't have, a great scorer like Kevin Durant anymore, leading them back to the playoffs. Well, even though they didn't even make the playoffs with Kevin Durant this year anyways, furthest they went was the second round. So if you guys want to get further, you guys definitely got a lot of work to do. But right now, it looks like it's a great start so far. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. You will follow me on Twitch, Dehani Woodward. I've been slacking, not really going live that much. I've been, trying to figure out what to do for a live stream. If you guys have any ideas, put it down in the comments. But anyways, that's all I got for y'all. Peace out.